Channeled sounds for the most super intentionality. D D D D da 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 D D D D D D da 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 D D D D. As I'm doing these, I'm bringing in all explorations into my beingness. Everything that exists is in my beingness while I do these channeled sounds for super intentionality. D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D da da da. Channeled sounds for One Up Multiverse Love. D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D da 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 D D D D da 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 D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D One Up Multiverse Love. Again, that's what this tone's for. Next tone, next channeled sound is for my medication being super substances. The superest of super substances. Channeled sounds for that. Out of all the explorations, all universes, there must be a substance that gets you into the most profound alignment, most profound intelligence. I'm doing channel sounds to harness the power of the super substance now. Whether I'm taking the super substance that is somewhere in the infinite universes or not, is still a part of my vibration. So I'm doing channel sounds for the being on the most superest of super substances. D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D across all explorations, which is a subset of infinite universe. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 da. The violet flame is flickering in a matter-of-fact way. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 da. The violet flame that's encompassing entirety is flowing in codes of the super substance into my beingness. I am one with entirety and the super substance frequency. D D D D D D D da 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 da. The next channel sound is for the most profound energeticness. Again, D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D. Keep using the violet flame flicker in those three places. D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D. Go slower with this channel sounds. Really embed your all into each sound with the intention, in this case being profound energeticalness. D D. Flicker that violet flame at the same time. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D. Notice if you get vocally tapped out, and do it in your mind if you need to. Take a break vocally and do it silently in your mind if you have to, with the same amount of energy embedded into these sounds. Sounds are sound, whether they're in your mind or whether they are vocally expressed. Channeled sounds for me being on the most profound diamond mine drops. Dee 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 da 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 dee 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 da 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 dee 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 da 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 dee 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 da 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 T T T T T T da 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 D D D D D D. Channeled sounds for all supplements that exist, me receiving the benefit of all of them in the most full-fledged way. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D. So I saw someone slam dunk garbage into a garbage can, and they did it with resolve. They just dunked it straight in with non-hesitancy. So I'm toning in that matter-of-fact way with the most resolve, with the most non-hesitancy, with the most profound non-hesitancy, with the most profound resolve. Channeled sounds, channeled sounds for the most profound exuberance, while I'm flickering the violet flame in the most matter-of-fact way. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 da. The most profound exuberance. D D D D D D D D di da 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 di 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 da 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 di 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 da 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 da. My arms are swinging from spontaneous movement, from all this channeled energy. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D. Everything is profoundly parting with me in the most profound exuberance. The violet flame is flickering in the most matter-of-fact ways. I'm channeling these sounds in the most non-hesitant way of all ways. The most profound exuberance ever to exist. D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D D D. Feel into these sounds. I'm embedding everything with exuberance across entirety. D D D D D D D D da 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 D D. All explorations are going to be embedded with exuberance, the most profound exuberance. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D. Infusing entirety with it, the most profound exuberance. D D D D D D D D D D. Channeled sounds for anything I want to feel. I feel it. I vibrate it. Anything that I want to feel or vibrate, I vibrate it right away. So we'll go specific. I want to vibrate as I'm parting with all vibrations, all of the most profound love that there is in everything. All of that exuberance, I'm parting with it. D D D D D D D D da 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D. I am one with every love that there is out there or in here. I am one with one. I am one. I am source energy. I am source origin. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D the most profound abundance. Channeled sounds for the most profound abundance. D. Abundance of all types for everything in entirety. D. I'm infusing abundance into entirety. I'm infusing abundance into all existences. I'm infusing abundance into all explorations of source origin. Of myself, source origin. My arms are swinging again from channeled movements, spontaneous channeled movements. A lot of energy pouring into my entireness. I hope you enjoyed my channeled sounds. Thank you for watching.